All right, welcome back. So this is going to be another video in the Sovereign Cloud series. So let's take a look at my channel. Oops, and my keyboard is not working. That happens sometimes. I don't know what to do to get it to working. Sometimes it just randomly starts. Try turning it off and on again. Battery looks good. There we go. Now it's working. Okay, so let's go to my channel. Oh, never mind. It's still not working. Okay, well, if the keyboard's not working, I don't know what to do. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now it's working. Ah, shoot. It looks like I dropped back down to uh, less than 1,200 subscribers. Yeah, so thanks everyone for subscribing. It helps keep me motivated. So let's get back up to the 1,200. All right. Let me briefly look at my last video. Oh, all right. Looks good. Okay, so we're gonna continue on with the guide. So the next section is configuring our server's networking for virtual machines. What are virtual machines? We're going to make use of virtual machines a lot. Virtual machines, VMs, are software-based computers running inside your physical server. This approach allows us to have separated, segmented computers running inside of our network that are absolutely idiot-proof to backup and restore. Keyword there being idiot-proof. Once I provide you with a working backup script, if you mess something up with any of the services, MailCow, FreePBX, Home Assistant, SyncThing, Image, Nextcloud, etc., all you have to do is one, shut down the existing messed up virtual machines, two, restore a single .qcow file from backup, three, start up the virtual machine. And everything works again. No confusing command line stuff, no editing config files. Depending on the host and network you move it to, you might have to edit the IP address configuration and ports forwarded in the firewall. Otherwise, so besides that, it will just work. This is beautiful and so idiot proof, even someone like me can do it. If I mess up my phone system, I can restore it in seconds without having to mess up any other part of my system. Did I mention it's idiot proof? This is the most important quality of a system when I'm the one using it. If a server's hardware or OS drive fails, it's easy to move the VM to another device, insanely easy. Take a backup of a single file and move it over easy. Nerd note. Yes, Docker allows for containerized installs of everything. Yes, it's faster. Yes, it makes more sense in an enterprise environment. This is a beginner's guide. Having a very easy backup script that allows copying and pasting a QCOW file when you break something means you'll actually use your backups rather than give up, um, which is important in the beginning. We will create segmented VMs for each of our purposes. Identity slash email, Android slash cloud services, and sync, home automation, etc. And they will have programs and services running in Docker within them, often several. The backup solution will be backing up these VMs because it is dirt easy for a beginner versus managing backup, all the associated Docker containers and volumes. If you want to manage this, go set up Kubernetes at a mid-sized company for someone and stop reading a newbie guide. That would be nice. That's a good suggestion. I don't know how to just go and do that though. Like, I feel like they don't like in the job markets today. Like any like there's hundreds of applicants for every job. All right, so by running, and I know this from experience, I posted my own job on LinkedIn, and I had 3 PhDs apply. I had like 16. I think I had over 10 applicants after in less than 15 minutes after posting my job. I mean, we can look at it. Up to now, I've probably got over 100 applicants, and the application's closed. People still contacting me about the application, even though I closed the application and I posted it like months ago. That's the kind of job market we're in. So yeah, I got to go to jobs. Then I got to go to my jobs, uh, post to jobs. Uh, wait, is that the post? No, that's not the right one. Oh, I can get rid of this one. Yeah, this is the big one. AI startup co-founder. I've got a total of 37 applicants. I closed it 4 months ago, and just a few weeks ago, one of the applicants actually contacted me. Um, and I'm it's a free job post, which means it gets buried in the algorithm. Like this is the kind of job market we're in, and I don't even like there's nothing in there about pay or anything. Like I'm not even like I say very specifically that like I'm not uh, paying anyone. So like this is the job market we're in. Good luck going to a mid-sized company and setting up Kubernetes. All right, so by running each set of services on its own, we isolate them from each other. So if one service has an issue, it won't bring down the entire system. One problem, I need these virtual machines to connect to the internet. And since they're virtual, they have no network interface card, so I can't plug them into my switch, bridging. Since VMs don't come with physical network interface cards, NICs, like a regular server, we need to create a virtual network interface that allows them to connect to the network and access the internet. This virtual interface acts as a bridge between the VMs and your server's physical network connection. All right, and I'll pause quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so step one, disable Cloud Init's network configuration. Before changing the network configuration, you need to stop Cloud Init from managing it. Create the file to disable Cloud Init's network management by running the following command, sudo nano, um, so you're opening a file. Add to this file network colon config colon disabled. Save and close the file by typing Control plus X and hitting Y to save it. So I think this is the part he said that we could skip. So I think this is just a walkthrough. Um, it's just an overview of stuff we'll do later. So I think we're going to be doing this later. I'm just wondering if I need to enter these commands in. Oh, you know what? We do have to. I think we do have to enter these commands in. Yeah. So these we don't have to. Oh, am I skipping? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, okay. Okay, so we do have to follow all of these steps. Yeah, because we're going to configure our servers networking for virtual machines. So this is the part where we can't skip. Like all of this, there were no like specific instructions there, and these sections said we could skip these whole sections. Let's go back to that skip message and see where it said what's the next section that you couldn't skip. Yeah, feel free to skip this and scroll down to the understanding the basics of Docker section. Okay, and then you can skip this and go down to configuring virtual machines. But this part you can't skip, and you're gonna have to enter commands on the Ubuntu server. All right, so we have to follow each of these steps. I'll pause it and be right back. All right, I'm back. So we're gonna have to follow these steps step by step on my server. Uh, so step one is going to be disable cloud init's network configuration. So before changing the network configuration, you need to stop cloud init from managing it. But I guess I'm confused because it doesn't tell me when it doesn't tell me to create a VM. Like all these sections up here, it says you can just skip. So these steps down here, I don't think we can skip. But it doesn't tell me like where to run these commands. Uh, okay, you run them on the server. So let's get SSH into the server and then run these commands. And my keyboard stopped working. I wish my keyboard wouldn't do that. It's very loud. My whole computer stopped working. I can't open the menu. All right, well, I've already got a terminal open, so let's open that and see if we can open it from there. Um, yeah, so let's open a new command prompt tab there, and we'll use that. So SSH Apache 68.5.2, yes, password. And there we go. We're in my Ubuntu server here, so we can run all these commands now. All right, so oops, and looks like something happened there. Oops, so it skipped me away from where I was. All right, but we can get back to where I was. Just have to scroll down. And again, this page isn't made to be optimized. It's just Louis Rossmann being a nice guy and walking you through all this in a way that's simple and easy to understand. So I'm happy to deal with a lagging, difficult to work with page as long as the information on it is solid. Okay, so here we go. So step one, disable Cloud Init's network configuration. Before changing the network configuration, you need to stop Cloud Init from managing it. So create the file to disable Cloud Init's network management by running the following command. All right, so I have to enter in my password for sudo, and now we're in a new file. So add this to the file. So we're going to add it exactly as listed there. We're going to netwrk space open close parentheses config disabled. Save and close by typing Control X and hitting Y to save it. Perfect. Oops, let's hit cancel. Let's hit Control X and Y. Name to write. Wait. Sorry, I don't think. Let's exit and select no. Oh, actually, I think there's a mistake in the guide because let's make this and let's just type test 1 2 3, save it, and then we're gonna say yes. Now if I do an ls, oh, okay, never mind. So it does show up in the guide. So let's make this easier on ourselves though, and go over to here, cd here, ls. Yeah, so let's work out of this directory to make things a little easier. So we're gonna deal with this file here. It should say test 1 2 3. It does. So now we can fix it. There, that makes it easier. Now we can see the full name to write. It's not cut off, and we can trust that we're going to save it, not with a name that includes the path, but in the path we want. All right, so step two, back up the current net plan configuration. Make a backup of your current net plan configuration. Run the following command to back up the current file. Yeah, we'll just wholesale copy this, and that should do it. All right, I'll do an ls, and we should have our backup showing up. Oh, you know what? We're dealing with a different folder here. So let's go there, etc netplan, ls, and there we go. We've got our backup. So .bak, make sure that netplan will not use it for creating a configuration. .bak also makes it easy to go back. You don't have to remember the file name or the location of the original file. You just copy the backup file to the same file name in the directory without the suffix .bak. There it is. Yeah, so this is essential Linux stuff. You don't want to ever throw away a file. You want to make a backup of it and then work on a copy of it. Because then if anything goes wrong, you just copy the backup and you're back to where you were. All right, and I'll pause it and be right back. All right, I'm unpaused and back. So next is step three, create a new NetPlan configuration. Since you disabled cloud/init, now, or -init, you can now modify the network configuration to create a bridge interface that your virtual machines can use. Find the name of your Ethernet interface, the one the Cat5 cable plugs into. I only have one, so it should be pretty easy. All right, so mine is EN01. We know it's not the loopback. On my personal computer, ENP4S0 is my network interface, and the LO is the loopback interface. Loopback allows the machine to talk to itself, Other computers cannot contact this computer through the loopback interface. This is useful if there is a service we would like to run that we do not want to be accessible to other machines on the network. ENP4S0 is my Ethernet port. On my server, EN01 is my interface that the Ethernet port plugs into, so I will use that below. When you see me using EN01 as I set up my server, replace EN01 with the actual name of your network interface. Create or edit the NetPlan configuration file by running this command. So this will open up an editor to edit the proper configuration file. All right, looks good to me. So replace the content with the following configuration. So I didn't have any existing content. I'm pretty sure I entered it in correct. I just copied and pasted it. So I've added a comment on each line so you know exactly how many spaces there should be. All right, looks good to me. Once done, remember to change the permissions of your NetPlan files so that NetPlan does not yell at you. So let's do a write out, save, yes, there we go. Then let's, so we're already in NetPlan, so we should see ONet, there we go. So we're gonna change the permissions of it now. Perfect. Explanation of the configuration. EN01 will be part of the bridge. And you know what? We have to go back and see if, yeah, okay, EN01, that's good. I was worried that he would say his own, which is ENP4S0, but mine is EN01. He says EN01, so we're good to go. Yeah, he doesn't say the other one. Good. So EN01 will be part of the bridge, BR0, but will no longer have an IP address directly. BR0 is the bridge interface that will be assigned the static IP .2 that we use to SSH into it. The BR0 interface will be configured with the same gateway and name server settings as before. So now, after we do this, we'll be able to SSH into the virtual machines as well. The gateway is our pfSense router, which is what it connects to get an IP address and connect to the internet, a gateway to the world. And the name server is also our router, which is what it connects to translate things like google.com into a IPv4 address. BR0 is a virtual interface we are creating. EN01 is an interface already present on this machine. EN01 is the Ethernet port on my computer, simply put. Your network interface card will most likely be called something else. This is okay. Use what your network interface is called, as it will be different for all machines. Note, you are probably used to old school configuration files where PSV underscore enable equals yes. It's the same as PSV underscore enable equals yes. That is not how a YAML do. Oh, I see. So in this one, if we highlight it, we can see there's no space at the front. But in this one, if we highlight it, oh, I don't see the difference between these two. A single space is all that stands between you having a working setup and happiness and total misery. The YAML is sensitive to spaces, indentation errors matter, and can cause the config file to not work. Some text editors are helpful in editing YAML files so that it is easier to notice mistakes and errors. Some are not. Yeah, I actually don't like YAML as much as I like JSON. It's like this idea of making something human readable. It's like, well, it's not more human readable if you remove like, punctuation symbols and have everything in lowercase. Like that makes it less human readable. Like the crazy curly brackets in JSON and the commas like make it way easier to read. Anyway, step 4, apply the new configuration. Now that the configuration is ready, apply it. Run the following commands to apply the new NetPlan configuration. Hopefully this will not sever my connection. Boom, it didn't. Note, you may make an error because YAML files are evil. To make sure that the configuration works, run netplan try before running netplan apply. While Yoda had a point with the do or not do, there is no try. He never dealt with Linux documentation. That's funny. Verify that the bridge interface is up and has the correct configuration by running this command. Okay, so we have our BR0 interface, and then we do see that it is up. You should see that BR0 has the IP address 192.168.5.2. Sure enough, there it is. Check the routing table to make sure that the default route is correctly set by running iproute-show. Verify that the default route points to the pfSense server at .5.1. So, yeah, that's the default route. So we also have a non-default route here. The source of it is .2, but it's a route out to the 192.168.5.0/24 network. That's good. Now to send anything outside the network, we're going to use the default route, which does point to .1. All right, so step 5, test network config. Verify your server can still access the network after the changes. I mean, I'm still SSH'd in, so I think that's verification, but let's see. Yep, looks good. Ping an external IP to make sure connectivity by running. So kind of a typo there, but this is Google's DNS server, which should be up all the time. Yep. Step 6, add IP tables rules for bridging. For the bridge to work correctly, you need to allow traffic forwarding on the BR0 bridge interface. This requires creating IP tables rules and making them persistent across reboots. This is a very important detail, often left out of guides on setting up bridge interfaces. Skipping this part will result in a setup that doesn't work. You will be stuck in a hell of posting on GNU/Linux forums where people with IQs of 180 plus will tell you to RTFM a man page that is 2 million plus pages long. All right, so here's a guide that is missing that step. Luckily, we've got good old Louis Rossmann, who doesn't miss any steps, except for setting your BIOS to UEFI rather than legacy mode. All right, so this is analogous to Derek Jeter telling you to just keep your eye on the ball, right? You may wonder why that is the case. Setting up things with open source software is like MacBook board repair 12 years ago. It's a club and you're not in it. Most teachers know their subject matter. As a result, they'll forget what it was like to try something for the first time. This is why I am building a machine from scratch as I do this. Telling you how I did it on my machine will never work. There will always be some small detail I subconsciously assume you will know, such as the BIOS setting for UEFI, or perhaps a detail I forgot myself since some of these services I'm showing you were set up in my closet 10 years ago. By performing the tasks from what I have written, I am forced to provide you with instructions that actually work. Run the following commands to add the IP tables rules. All right, going to run the first command. Looks good, and we'll run the second command. Second command is a little different from the first. It has a dash O instead of a dash I. So inbound and outbound. So we're creating two accept rules for the bridge interface, both for inbound and outbound traffic. Note, these IP tables rules let traffic go through the bridge interface so your virtual machines can work on your network. Without them, your virtual machines will not be able to connect to anything, and you won't be able to connect to them. If you see that your virtual machine received an IP address on Virtual Machine Manager, but it can't connect to anything, you likely skipped this step. The order of rules in IP tables matters. Inserting rules at the top using the -L puts them at the top. If traffic forwarding does not work as expected, check the rules and the order, which you can do by running sudo iptables -L -v-n. So yeah, the way these firewalls work is it goes by one, and the first one it hits is the first one it goes with. Well, actually, that's how a routing table works. I'm actually not sure if I think it does go through all of the. I think it continues to go through the rest of the entries if there's a match. Let's double check that with ChatGPT. All right, and we'll use 4.5. Hey, so what's the difference between processing lines of commands in a routing table and an like IP tables in Linux, like an access control list? So I'm pretty sure that, in fact, I'm like 99, 100% sure that in a routing table, it goes top to bottom, and then the first match it goes with. It sends the traffic out. So if you have 5 entries and there's a match in entry 2, entries 3, 4, and 5 just won't even get processed at all. Is that the same way it works with a firewall, or does, even though there's a match for entry 2, would 3, 4, and 5 still be run?
Hey, great question. So with routing tables, it indeed works like you described. Entries are processed top to bottom, and the first match determines the route. But for firewalls, like with IP tables, it's a bit different. In IP tables, rules are also evaluated top to bottom, but it depends on the chain and rule type whether it stops at the first match or keeps going. For example, if a packet matches a rule that explicitly accepts or drops it, it won't process further rules in that chain. But if it matches a logging rule, for instance, it might still continue to be processed by subsequent rules.
Okay, but let's say that it matches a permit or deny. Then does it work more like a IP routing table?
Right, exactly. If a packet matches a rule that permits or denies it, IP tables will usually stop processing further rules in that chain. So, in that sense, it's similar to how a routing table processes entries. The action specified by the rule, whether to accept, drop, or reject, determines what happens next with that packet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you.
You're welcome, anytime.
All right, we can verify IP tables rules by running sudo iptables -L. So here's the rules for input. Now I don't see the bridge anywhere. That's interesting because I thought we added that to it. You should see rules for accepting traffic on BR0. I do not see those rules. Uh-oh. Okay, so let's work with ChatGPT again and try to figure out what's going on. Okay, and then I'll say I do not see BR0 showing up in IP tables. Did I do something wrong? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess this command leaves a bit to be desired. Um, yeah, so you actually won't see rules. I guess these are the two entries here, but it won't show you the actual, yeah, it won't show you the actual rules unless you do dash V and dash N. Let's do that. Oh, there. Yeah, now we can see in BR0 out anything, in anything out BR0. So now we can see the details. All right, so you should see the rules for accepting traffic on BR0, both in and outbound. Got it. All right, so the next step is to make IP tables rules persistence, which is so cool. Like this is what the AI said that the next step would be. So really cool. But I'll take a break and be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's keep going. So next, we're going to make the IP tables rules persistent. Make sure the IP tables rules are applied after a reboot. You need to save them and configure them to load automatically on startup. So install the IP tables persistent package. I actually didn't know you had to install a special package. All right, during installation, you'll be asked if you want to save the current IP tables rules. Choose yes. If you're not prompted, then you can manually save the rules there. We were prompted. We were prompted a second time for IPv6. We're not dealing with any IPv6, so let's go with no. So note installing iptables-persistence is what allows your iptables rules to stick after a reboot. This is a server. You're not going to turn this off very often. And in fact, if you do, you have to enter in your password to your encrypted disks again. 9 months from now, when you do turn off this server, you'll forget your encrypted disk password. You're not going to remember a single damn character from this guide, much less that IP tables rule above. You probably won't even remember your password to actually get into the server. Nor will you remember that the rule not being present is why none of your virtual machines work. Confirm the rules are saved by checking the file here. All right, yep, they were saved. With these changes, your bridge interface will now correctly allow traffic to flow through the virtual machines. iptables rules will persist across reboots, and your virtual machines will be able to grab IP addresses from the same network as your host machine. All right, so the next step is preparing Ubuntu server for virtual machine management. I feel like this might be a good. No, we're only at the 40-minute mark, so let's make some more progress. Get to the hour mark and then take a break. Next, let's set up Ubuntu server for use with virtual machines using Virtual Machine Manager, Virt-Manager. We'll cover everything from preparing the ISO file to configuring the virtual machine with a static IP address, including the installation of a lightweight GUI for easier management. Step 1, prepare the Ubuntu server ISO. Before creating the virtual machine, you need to place the Ubuntu server ISO file in the correct directory and set the proper permissions. Place the ISO file you use to create your installable Ubuntu USB onto your server. You can do this by attaching a disk to it using SSH FTP and a program like FileZilla to transfer it over. Or if you're an animal, you can download it again by going to ubuntu.com and downloading the LTS version of Ubuntu server again. So let's use FTP. So we're going to go, to do that, we're going to create another tab here. We're going to do FTP 192.168.5.2. And it says connection refused. So let's give it the username. Unknown host. Okay. So now let's do send, and then we'll get the full path to the file. So if we go to downloads, we should see that Ubuntu file. Or I might have saved it to my D drive. I might have saved it to my D drive. Yeah, here it is. So we're going to go to properties, and then we're going to get the path. So it's D colon, and then we'll get the file name, and hopefully this will work. Not connected. Okay, so we have to connect. Okay, so FTP. Connection refused. Okay, so we have to set up allow for FTP. So let's talk to the AI. We'll go into conversation mode and figure this out. Hey, I'm trying to send a file from my home server to the tower, like my main PC. Basically, this is what I'm doing. I'm setting up an Ubuntu server, and I need to send a file over to it. So I'd like to use FTP.
Got it. Using FTP to transfer a file is pretty straightforward. Are you planning to use the command line for this, or would you prefer a graphical FTP client?
I prefer the command line. I'm using PowerShell.
All right. To transfer a file using FTP via PowerShell, you'll first need to open PowerShell and connect to your Ubuntu server. Here's a quick rundown. 1. Open PowerShell. Use the FTP command to connect, ftp/server address. Then, enter your username and password. 4. Navigate to the directory where you want to upload the file. 5. Use the put
Well,
files at help.
hold on. No, let me stop you there because when I try to connect, it says connection refused.
Connection refused usually means the FTP service isn't running or there's a firewall blocking it. Have you confirmed that the FTP server is installed and running on your Ubuntu machine?
Yes. Oh wait, well, sorry. I, I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
No worries. Let's get it installed and running. On your Ubuntu server, you can install an FTP server like vsftpd by running sudo apt install vsftpd. Once it's installed, you can start the service with sudo systemctl start vsftpd. Give that a try and let me know if you hit any snags.
Okay, I'm installing it now. What's the next command again?
After it's installed, you'll start the service using sudo systemctl start vsftpd. Then you can check its status with sudo systemctl status vsftpd to make sure it's running.
Looks good. It's running. So now I should be able to connect from PowerShell.
Exactly. Now you can go back to PowerShell and try connecting with FTP/your server IP. Then just log in with your credentials and you're good to go for file transfers.
Love it. 2230 login successful.
Awesome. Now you can use the put command to upload your file. For example, put c/path/ to file, and that should do it.
Why not the send command?
Both put and send work for uploading files, but put is usually for single files, while send can handle multiple. If you're sending one file, put is just a bit more common, but either will get the job done.
All right, that's fair. I'll use put.
Sounds good. Let me know how it goes.
And then after I say put space, then the file I want to send, and then can I do another space and specify where I want to send it?
Exactly. You can specify the remote directory after the file name. For example, put c/path to file/remote directory. If you don't specify a remote directory, it'll upload to the current one.
Oh, this is interesting. It says file not found.
Ah, that usually means the file path on your local machine isn't correct. Double check the file path, including the drive letter and any spaces or special characters. Make sure it's all correct and try again.
So it's on my D drive. So do I need to do capital? So I do capital D colon forward slash, or do I need to use a lowercase or a backslash?
You should use a capital D with a colon and then a backslash, like this, D:\2\. Make sure each folder in the path exists and is spelled correctly.
Okay. Yeah, it's saying file not found, so obviously something's going wrong.
All right, let's break it down. First, confirm the exact path and file name by navigating to it in File Explorer. Then, copy-paste the path into PowerShell to avoid typos. Are you using the correct drive and folder names?
Am I using the correct drive and folder names? Yeah, I thought I was.
No problem. Maybe try listing the files in that directory with PowerShell using ls or dir to double check. That should confirm if the file is there and we have the right path.
What if I type in ls into the FTP command line?
That works too. Within the FTP prompt, you can use ls or dir to list files in the current remote directory. It'll help you see what's there and where you might want to send your file.
Can I change directories?
Yes, you can. Use the cd command, followed by the directory name, to change directories on the remote server. For example, cd/path/directory.
I think it's failing because I started the FTP command on the C drive. I think if I exit out of that and then switch over to the D drive, then it'll work. I think once it's on a drive, it can't read from another.
Got it. Switching to the D drive first should help. Just exit the FTP session, switch to the D drive by typing D: in PowerShell, then reconnect with FTP and try again.
Still file not found.
Let's make sure the file path is correct. Could you try using the full path with the file name directly in PowerShell, like lsd: and \2 file, and see if it shows up?
Yeah, I'll try.
Great. That should help confirm if PowerShell can see the file. If it shows up, you can proceed with the FTP command again.
So what it says is 200 port command successful. Consider using PASV. It says 150. Here comes the directory listing, and it says 226 directory send OK, but then it doesn't show me the listing.
Got it. The message indicates the directory listing was successful, but maybe the output isn't displaying in PowerShell. You could try using passive mode with "PASV" in the FTP prompt. That might help with data transfer issues.
Oh, how do I do that?
In the FTP prompt, simply type "PASV" and press enter. This switches to passive mode, which might resolve the issue with listing or transferring files.
No dice. It doesn't accept that as a command.
All right, let's try switching to passive mode before connecting. When you reconnect via PowerShell, add the passive flag, like this, FTP-passive server address. That should set passive mode for the whole session.
Do I want it to be in passive mode? What's the advantage of it being in passive mode?
Passive mode can help if there's a firewall or network issue blocking the connection. It allows the client to establish data connections, often resolving connection refused errors. If you're having trouble, it's worth trying.
Are you sure about that? That doesn't sound right to me.
Fair point. Typically, passive mode helps if active mode encounters issues. But if you're not sure, let's proceed with your current setup and focus on confirming file paths and permissions.
So I'm looking at the help menu. I don't see passive mode anywhere in the help menu.
No worries. Passive mode usually isn't in the basic FTP client help menu. Let's keep it simple. Confirm your file path on your D drive, and then try the put command again with that path.
When I do DIR after connecting? Am I am I I guess what I'm asking is am I doing this backwards? Do I need to open FTP on the remote server and then pull a file from my workstation, or can I send a workstation from my or a file from my workstation to the remote server?
You can do it either way. If you're sending from your workstation to the remote server, the put command is correct. If you're pulling from the server, you'd use the get command. Either way, the FTP client on your workstation can handle both directions.
All right, so I guess I'll just use the put command.
Sounds good. Give it another shot with the correct file path. If there's still an issue, we can troubleshoot further.
Oops, I accidentally double clicked on something.
No worries. Just reopen your FTP session and try the put command again. Take your time.
Man, why can't it find the file? This is crazy. I guess maybe I mean it seems like the file doesn't exist, so I might as well just re-download it.
I know it's frustrating. If the file's not showing up, re-downloading might be the simplest fix. Once you've got it, we can try uploading again.
Okay, well, let's. I wonder if you can save me some time because why don't I just download it from my server?
Sure, if you can access the server directly, that might be quicker. Just log in and download the file to your local machine. Then we can proceed with whatever you need next.
Okay, so it's an Ubuntu server. So what do I do to get? So the file is the file is Ubuntu-24.04.2 live server AMD 64. So like, what do I how do I download that?
You can use wget on your Ubuntu server to download it. Just run wget with the URL with the link to the file. If you have the URL, you can paste it right after the wget command.
Okay, I'll look up. Do you know the URL? The URL? I'm looking it up.
The URL should be available on the Ubuntu releases page. If you find it there, copy the link and use wget URL on your server.
All right, so I think I see it here. It's 24.04.2 LTS.
Great, copy that link and use it with wget on your server. The command will look something like wget URL. That should download the file directly to your server.
Okay, cool. It's downloading. I'm getting it to work.
Awesome. Once it's downloaded, you'll be all set. Let me know if there's anything else you need help with.
All right, I just gotta leave it sit. It's gonna. I'm doing pulling it at about 70 megabits per second. Is that fast or slow?
For a server download, 70 megabits per second is decent. It translates to about 75 megabytes per second. The download speed depends on your connection and the server's upload capacity.
Well,
The fastest
I thought it would go faster because I have a 600 meg symmetrical connection.
It might be limited by the server's upload speed or network congestion. If you have other downloads or devices using bandwidth, that can slow it down too. Still, it's moving along.
Yeah, I mean it's already done.
Nice. Now that you have the file, you're all set for whatever's next. Anything else you need help with?
No, I think I'm all set.
Great. If anything else comes up, just let me know. Good luck with everything.
Cool. So what a world we live in. Isn't that amazing? Like we didn't have that like 5 years ago. Like it's so good. All right. So now I gotta I'm gonna move it. sudo move, and then we're going to do Ubuntu server like that. And we're going to do var lib vert images. And there's no such thing as libvirt images. So let's let's do it piece by piece and see which folder's missing. Okay, libvirt is missing, so we'll make that. We need to use sudo to do that. And then go into libvirt. And then we'll do kdir. I mean, just probably need sudo for this too. Kdir. There we go. I'd like to turn that ringing off. Not sure how to do that. Okay, so now we should be good to do the moving command again. Oh, but I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, now it should be disappeared from here, and it should be in that other one. Good. So now we can do this chown. Oh, we've got an invalid user. Did I skip a step? I think there's a step missing in here because I have to download Virt Manager. Let's talk to the AI again. Hey, I'm following a guide, and I feel like there's a step missing from this guide.
Hey Graham, what's the guide about? Maybe I can help fill in the blanks.
So it says next, let's set up Ubuntu server for use with virtual machines using Virtual Machine Manager, Virt-Manager. So it says the first step to do that is to give it a file, and then I need to move the file to /libvirt/images, which I didn't have, so I just made it myself. And then it's saying you need to do a sudo chown for the user libvirt-qemu:/libvirt. And when I did that, it said invalid user. So I feel like the step that's missing from the guide is I have to install Virt Manager or somehow get that working. Like those paths in that user should already be on there.
Yeah, that sounds like a step might be missing. Usually Virtual Machine Manager or Virt Manager isn't pre-installed. Have you tried installing it using something like sudo apt install Virt Manager? That should create those directories and users automatically.
Let's try it. Are you ready?
Sure thing. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll be here if you need any help with the process.
Okay, so I guess the first thing I'm going to do is because that file, took a few minutes to download, so I'm going to move that file back to the original location out of that folder, and then I'll delete the custom-made folders that I made.
Sounds like a plan. Once you've got the file back in place and the folder sorted, the Virt Manager installation should take care of the rest. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, so what's the command? Is sudo apt-get what?
The command is sudo apt install Virt Manager. That should do it.
I'm surprised that was missing from the guide. That's kind of a critical step.
Yeah, definitely a crucial step. Guides sometimes skip over things, assuming some prior knowledge. Anything else you're unsure about?
Well, that's the thing with this guide too, is like it's supposed to be written so your grandmother could do it. It's supposed to be as clear as possible. So this is kind of a big oversight.
For sure, clarity is key, especially for beginners. Maybe you can leave a comment or feedback for the author to help others out.
Yeah, I have some. Yeah, maybe I could do that somehow.
That'd be great. And if you run into any more snags, just let me know.
All right, so now it's working beautifully. Yeah. So there was a step missing from the guide. You have to install that library. Pretty obvious, but if you're complete newbie, an old grandmother, you're not going to be, you're not going to know that. So apply these to all ISO files in the directory. Um, why does that not work? Uh, it should work. I mean, I only have one ISO file in the directory. Yeah, but it should work to use that star.iso shorthand. That should work. Confused why that didn't work. Huh. Well, that's something or another. But I mean, we only have the one ISO in the directory, so forget about it. There's only one. Yeah, so we don't need to run these again. Or we don't need to run these two commands because we ran each of them. So we ran the 640 command first, and then we ran so the 640 command happened here. We ran that second, um, and then we ran the chown command first. So same order up here. Yeah, chown command and the sudo. So note these settings. Make sure that the libvirt-QEMU user, which runs the QEMU process, can read and write the file, while members of the libvirt group can read it. Other users will have no access, so vir sh and related tools can access the ISO files, but others can't. All right, so the next step is to update your system. Make sure your system is up to date. All right, so note some GNU/Linux distributions update during installation, but it's always good to check. Step 3, install OpenBox and Virtual Machine Manager. Oh, that's interesting. It says it to do it now. Well, I mean, we already installed the Virtual Machine Manager. Yeah, so that step 2 was quite confusing because those paths didn't exist until you install it. So there weren't any directions to make them beforehand, though. So this part of the guide is quite difficult. It requires some expertise. All right. So next step is to do this. Although this is out of order, I think this should have happened in step 2, not step 3. So the dash dash no install recommends flags make sure only the core components are installed without any additional unnecessary packages. Step 4, enable and start libvirt. Enable libvirt to start on boot and start it immediately. So the enable command makes it start when it boots up, and then the start starts it now. Perfect. Don't see any errors so far. There we go. No errors there. And now we've got libvirtd up and running. So step 5 is add your user to the necessary groups. So allow your user to configure virtual machines. Add yourself to required groups. So yep, so we can do echo $user, and we see we've got my username saved as an environment variable. So it's nice because you don't have to type it in each time. You can just call the variable. There we go. So note, adding your user to the libvirt and kvm groups is useful, so you do not have to become super user / sudo for the virt-manager, virtual machine manager GUI, or virsh to work right. Log out and log back in to make sure you're in the user group after doing this. Okay, so we can do that. First, I want to make sure that those files haven't been, the ISO file hasn't been blown away. So let's go to the images folder and do an ls and see. So we can just do ls like this. Oh, we have to do a sudo though. That's a protected one. But after we go out and go back in, we probably won't. I don't think we'll have to do the sudo anymore. But yep, sure enough, installing those didn't overwrite what we had in there. So now we're going to log out, log back in. I should be able to do this command without the sudo now. Something happened where there was a extra new line character that got in there. And I'm missing an L. But we can see already it didn't say. Oh, let's just do a history and then I don't know why it's being so finicky. Okay, so we still have to do the sudo. I thought changing those groups would make it so that I don't have to. All right. Well, anyway, step 6 is to start the GUI. To start the graphical interface, use the following command: start X. Note, we will be using the GUI for Virtual Machine Manager. Anytime you are not using this, exit the GUI, right-click the desktop and log out, then type exit from the command line terminal so your machine is not logged in. Even if even if someone breaks into your house, they'll have physical access to your computer, but that doesn't mean they have easy access to your encrypted data. They have to know the password at least. All right, so step 6.1 is an optional step. I have a feeling I'm going to need to do it. Remote desktop access with X11 VNC and Tiger VNC. So X11 VNC is like TeamViewer if TeamViewer were open source and 50 times slower. X11 VNC allows you to connect to your server's uh, GUI for remote access as if you were right in front of the computer without having to be in the room with your computer. Up until now, we have been SSHing into the machine in order to enter terminal commands, but normal SSH won't work if we want to use the graphical user interface, see a mouse cursor, etc. Note, if you are okay with sitting in front of your server computer with a keyboard, mouse, and monitor plugged in to it when using Virtual Machine Manager, this step is unnecessary and you can feel free to skip it. I'm not okay with that. This will walk you through setting up remote desktop access to your Ubuntu server using X11 VNC and Tiger VNC. I like using Virtual Machine Manager GUI to install virtual machines on the main server. Since we are going to keep the GUI to install virtual machines and use Virtual Machine Manager via the GUI, we're stuck sitting in front of the server, which sucks if it's in a closet or garage. Here's how you can connect to it to view what is on its screen from another computer. So we have to install X11 VNC on the Ubuntu server. So to install X11 VNC, run the following command in your terminal. All right. This will install the X11 VNC package and its dependencies on your server. Set a password for VNC authentication. VNC X11 VNC uses a password for authentication. You can set this password as follows. Okay, and let's see if it. Okay, it is clear, so I'll just enter it. Okay, and then uh, there we go. We're gonna hit yes, and there we go. We wrote the password to it, so we're good to go. So step 6.4, set X11 VNC to listen on all interfaces on port 5920. Open a terminal and run the following. Uh, Oh, that's okay. So that's failed. Try with sudo. That's always easy answer. Oh, that was the wrong command. Uh, yeah, OpenX display. Okay, so here's why this helps clients like Remina Connect. Dash RFB port 5920. This sets the port on which the VNC server will listen for connections. VNC defaults to port 5900, but I like to use a non-standard one because I'm strange. Dash use PW. This option enables password authentication for VNC clients. It requires you to set a password using X11 VNC, store password beforehand. Use this to set a VNC password. Password authentication is standard for VNC clients like Remina. Without this, some clients might reject the connection for security reasons, and it's just good practice. Dash auth space home / .x authority. The dash auth option tells X11 VNC which authentication file to use to access your X session. The file path that you specify refers to authorization for the user running the current display session managed by GDM, your display manager. If you're using LightDM or another manager, the path might differ. Why it helps: instead of relying on dash auth space guess, which might not always find the right file, specifying the correct X authority file guarantees that X11 VNC can properly access the graphical session. If X11 VNC can authenticate the display, no client can connect. Number 4, dash display space :0. This option specifies which X display to serve via VNC. The display :0 is typically the primary display on your desktop session, the one you see on your monitor. It makes sure X11 VNC is connecting to the right graphics session. If it were set to the wrong display, you'd either get a black screen or your client wouldn't connect at all. Number 5, dash forever. Normally XVNC stops running after the client disconnects. The dash forever flag keeps it running indefinitely. If you disconnect and reconnect, it would suck to have to log back in each time. Without this, X11 VNC would stop after Remina disconnects, and you'd have to start it manually for each new connection. I like stopping X11 VNC once I am done manually. Number 6, dash NORC. This option tells X11 VNC not to load a configuration file which might contain unwanted settings. We are only using the settings in this command line. Number 7, dash NOX damage. The X damage extension tracks changes to the screen, but sometimes it can cause. Hold on, I need a break. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I'm well past the hour mark, so I'm kind of looking for a finish line here. So the X damage extension tracks changes to the screen, but sometimes it can cause display corruption or update issues in VNC clients. The dash no X damage flag disables this extension to avoid these problems. Some VNC clients, who shall not be named, sometimes F up refreshing the screen when properly when X damage is enabled. Disabling it keeps artifacts dash stuck screen issues. Number 8, dash shared. This option allows multiple clients to connect simultaneously to the VNC server. If this option isn't set, only one client can connect at a time, and additional connection attempts, such as from Remina, would fail. Enabling dash shared makes sure that you can connect with multiple devices or clients without being disconnected when another connects. Uh, so 6.5, installing Tiger VNC Viewer on the client. So to connect to the VNC server from a client machine, you need a VNC Viewer. The following steps will install Tiger VNC Viewer, also known as VNC Viewer, on your client, your GNU/Linux computer you are reading this on. I'm reading it on a Windows computer. Um, so if you use Windows or Mac, you're on your own, my friend. Find a VNC client that doesn't suck. All right, well, I'm going to use Tiger VNC Viewer on Windows. That's the other thing about this guide. Like, he wanted this to be super easy for anyone to do, for like a grandmother to do it. Well, a grandmother's not running Linux, so you can't just say you're on your own if you're not running Linux. All right, so the Windows version contains the following program: WinVNC. It's currently unmaintained and may not function correctly. Let's just try it on my WSL. So we're going to do bash. We're going to go home there. And then we're going to install this. Okay. And then we're going to do VNC Viewer. There we go. Yeah, it works. This works perfectly. Okay, so now connecting to the VNC server. Now that everything is up, you can connect to your server. So on your local machine, use the following command. There we go. Hit connect. Oh, it says note to replace 192.168 with your server's actual IP address. In our case, we can just also use the domain happycloud.home.arpa since we set up a static mapping earlier for our server in pfSense. When prompted, enter the VNC password you set earlier. You should now have a remote desktop connection to your Ubuntu server. Remember to start X11 VNC after you have logged in and typed start X to start OpenBox so it works. So it doesn't work for me. So let's get back in there. So it says there's an invalid port. I don't know why there's an invalid port. Invalid port specified. What? Port should be valid. I guess the port isn't open is the problem. So if we do netstat, wait, how do I look at ports? Let's talk to ChatGPT. In Ubuntu, how do I look at what ports are open? It's not the command netstat. What is the command?
You can use SS to check open ports in Ubuntu. It's a modern replacement for netstat. For example, to list listening ports, you'd use SS-TULN. The T is for TCP, U for UDP, L for listening, and N for numeric output.
Okay, and who are you? What happened to Cove?
Oh, good. You found me. Yay.
What? No,
Hey
no, no.
there.
I want
Hey.
Cove. I
Hey,
want Cove
hi.
back.
Hey, what's up? Feel free to.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi there. I just want to
Hey,
share.
give me. Are you there, Cove? Hello.
Hey, I'm here. What's up?
Damn it. All right. Well, that's fine. Um, that's fine. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so let's see here. Okay, so the port is not open. That's why I'm having this issue. Are you still there?
Yup, still here. What's going on?
I'm trying to use StartX to start a graphical interface, but it's failing.
Got it. Are you getting any specific error messages when you try to use StartX?
Yeah, let me see what I got.
No worries. Let me know what it says, and we'll figure it out.
It says errors from XKB COMP are not fatal to the X server.
Okay, that usually means there's an issue with the keyboard configuration. Are there any other error messages after that?
No, there's not.
All right, let's try resetting your X configuration. You could try renaming your .xnirc file or checking the logs in var log xorg 0 log for more clues.
Well, I think it's up and running. I can't. I want to access it.
Gotcha. If you want to access a specific application or desktop environment, you can specify it in your .xnirc file. What desktop environment are you using?
Well, hold on a second. It's so a command I'm running before that is not working. It says X11 VNC was unable to open the X display. It cannot continue.
Ah, okay. It sounds like there's a conflict with the display. Have you checked if another X session is already running?
What's the symbol you use to run a command that runs forever, but it runs like in the background as a job?
You'd use an ampersand at the end of the command to run it in the background. For example, your command and.
Didn't work.
All right, if you need to run it and keep it running after you log out, you could use nohub before the command, like nohub your command and.
Oh, you know what? It actually did work.
Great, glad it's working now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I got it to work now.
Awesome. Anything else you need help with?
Yeah, it's so let's see here. So it says yeah, so it says when I try to use VNC Viewer, I get a problem.
Got it. What's the exact problem you're seeing with VNC Viewer?
So the VNC server, so the command to that I enter there, VNC server, or it says VNC viewer. So I don't know. It says invalid port is what it says.
An invalid port error usually means the port number isn't correct or something else is using it. Are you sure you're connecting to the right IP and port combination?
I mean, yeah, I am sure.
All right, let's double check the VNC server status and port it's using. Can you run VNC server minus list and see what it shows?
Uh, Possibly.
No problem. Whenever you're ready.
the command was not found. It's VNC server. Is there like a dash or anything?
It might be. Let's try using the full path. You can also check if the VNC server command is in usr-bin or usr-local-bin.
Hold on a second. Man, I hate it when they just like switch the voice on you. I'm used to Cove, so. All right. Well, let's see here. Yeah. So this is it. Set VNC to listen to all interfaces. I didn't do that, so like the port's not open. Like I have to do this next. Yeah. So I mean, this should be it. This should be it. Like now it should work. But it doesn't work. Well, I mean, this is usually a good strategy when things are acting weird. Just type it out character by character. So, see, viewer 68.5.2 colon 59 20 security types B and C of invalid port specified. Alright. Maybe I did a typo. I might have fat fingered the port. No, it matches. It says 5920. Uh, what? Let's have a text-based chat with ChatGPT about this. Oh, what happened in my other screenshot? My other screenshot didn't get in there. Okay, that's okay. So let's get the next screenshot. Yeah. Okay, and then we need another screenshot, the one that didn't get in there. All right, we'll just feed it that, and we don't even need to prompt it. Oh. Oh, I see. So when I okay, got it. So oh no, the command is no, the command was let me no, the command is correct. It's just run off the screen a bit. I'll just speak it. It's easier. No, the command was correct. It's just run off the screen a bit. Ugh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, so this doesn't belong in this box here. This belongs as its own command down here. There we go. Perfect. I got nothing though. Nothing's showing up. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we should be able to right click. Oh, look, we can. Perfect. So, yeah, so we can right click, go to applications, go to system, and go to virtual machine manager. All right, so once you've installed and typed install OpenBox and start X, OpenBox starts. So I think I installed OpenBox. If that was up here, then I certainly did. Uh, yeah, yeah. So this is OpenBox right here. Let's go to Help, About. Uh, oh no, this is not OpenBox. How do I get OpenBox? Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is not OpenBox. This is the virtual machine manager, but this whole thing is OpenBox. If we right click and then we say System Terminal, then we don't get a terminal. All right. Well, anyway, I think we're in OpenBox. Yeah, so I think we're good. OpenBox started. Right click on the desktop to open the application menu. Perfect. System virtual machine manager. This is what we're going to be using to create virtual machines. So perfect. Everything's going without a hitch. At this point, we have our dependencies set up for virtual machine management and bridge networking configured so that our virtual machines can go online. We're ready for our first virtual machine. So creating a virtual machine. Our first virtual machine will be for MailCow and Bitwarden. These provide the following. MailCow, a self-managed email server for sending and receiving mail. Um, Integrated spam management and web interface, calendar, and contact syncing with mobile devices. A lovely JustWorks mashup of Postfix for sending mail, Dovecot for receiving mail, RSP AMD for killing spam, which would be so nice. I get so much spam in my Gmail. And Sogo for webmail/calendar/contacts. Bitwarden, password management across devices, browsers, phones, computers, etc. Alerts when your passwords have been found in a breach. Note, these instructions will carry over into many other virtual machine installs we will be using. I will ask you to refer back to the screen. Often the only thing you will be doing is changing the RAM amount and CPU cores allotted to the VM and the IP address you choose as you install. All right, so options for virtual machine creation. When you start creating a new virtual machine, you'll see several options. We're going to use Local install media, because we're working with the ISO image of the Ubuntu server we downloaded. But before getting into that, let me explain the import existing image option, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we'll get into it, and yeah, so okay, so import existing disk image. Imagine you've got a bunch of old laptops laying around, each running different servers. Maybe you've got a Dell Latitude D620 from 2006, or a piece of junk Lenovo with a dying Northbridge running your entire business phone system. Not that I ever did that, sure. But if you did, you could use a tool like DD Rescue to make a disk image of each server. Then you can import them into your virtual machine setup and keep them running without separate installations. It's a useful message for consolidating everything into one machine until you have time to set things up properly. Local install media. This option expects us to choose a disk image, whether for a CD-ROM or a USB stick, that we will use to make a fresh installation onto our computer. This option is for when we want to create our own virtual machine from scratch, which is what we are going to be using. All right, so setting up a virtual machine manager, VIRSH. So step 1.0, create a new virtual machine. So in Virtual Machine Manager, which we have open here, you can see the logo at the top. Click create a new virtual machine. This is the graphic right here. Usually the first icon on the toolbar, or select File, New Virtual Machine from the menu. So then we select this. So we hit forward after selecting that. Then we hit Browse. And there it is, right there, easy, ready to go. So then we're going to click Choose Volume. Yeah, so select that, click forward. Yep, so click forward. And then I think we do hit Choose Volume. I don't see it on there, so maybe we don't click that quite yet. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we click Choose Volume. Yeah, there we go. So now, there we go. Click forward, click Browse. Choose operating system version. The virtual manager may automatically detect the OS. If not, search for Ubuntu and choose. Yeah, so we can see it automatically selected it. Perfect. Works, so click forward, so we can click forward. There we go. Now configure memory and CPU, allocate the resources for your VM, set RAM, so that's what's set to automatically, set vCPUs, for example, to max for what we were doing here. So we'll just leave that the default and click forward. All right, now we see what we've got here. So configure storage. Select create a disk image for virtual machine. Allocate an initial disk size, that is whatever you think the maximum amount of storage you will need for email, contacts, and calendar is. You will be able to resize this disk later, so make sure it is large enough for your initial installation, but leave room for growth. So I'm working with 1 terabyte disks. He's working with disks a fourth the size of mine, so I'm going to expand this by 4 up to 100. Yeah, and that'll be good because in Gmail, so let's talk to the AI quick about this. Um, so how much? So if you use Gmail for free and you don't pay anything, how much storage space do you get for your email?
With a free Gmail account, you get 15 gigabytes of storage shared across Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Photos. If you need more space, you can purchase additional storage through Google One.
Okay, so if I upgrade to something with 100, how much extra, like how many times more space do I get?
If you upgrade to 100 gigabytes, you're getting a bit over 6.5 times more space than the free 15 gigabytes.
Yeah, so there we go. I just got an upgrade on my email. I can have 6.5 more stuff in my email now. So there we go. So you can resize it later. And not only that, if I ever run out of space, I'm running drives that have nearly 900 available, so I can just double the space I have. This is good. This is why I'm doing this. So make sure that the disk image format is QCOW2. This supports resizing and other cool features. So I don't know how we do that. Do we have to click manage? No. I don't know how we verify that. Oh, I guess this is where we can verify it? Yeah, so we can verify it here. There we go. .qcow2, perfect. So the click forward, there we go. Note, QCOW2 format has a lot of useful features. It supports snapshots, which we aren't using for our virtual machine backups, but it's nice to have if you choose to use that. Most importantly, QCOW2 supports sparse file allocation, aka it only uses physical disk space as it needs. Just because you say a virtual machine has access to 300 gigabytes doesn't mean it creates an image that actually takes up 300 gigabytes. I think you can configure it to do that, but typically that's not what you're looking to do. That's not a good option. Uh, okay, so he's expanded device name BR0. Yeah, looks good. So 1.5 set up networking with the bridge interface. Choose bridge device under network selection. In the device name field, type BR0 or whatever name you have given to it. I gave it BR0. This will allow the VM to grab a static IP from the same network as your host machine, making sure it acts like an independent hardware device. Click Finish. Perfect. This has been really easy. So note choosing bridge device allows for the virtual machine to appear like a unique hardware device on your network. That's the idea for each of our virtual machines to seem like Pinocchio, a real machine. So step 1.6, so name your virtual machine, for example, mail server, whatever you think makes sense uh, for a contacts slash calendar slash mail machine. So let's get some ideas from ChatGPT for that. We'll say, any ideas? How about mail server? All right, so this should look familiar. This is what we did with our actual machine. Never mind the virtual. So let's see if we can view this a little bit easier. There we go. So that's a little better. Be nice if I could adjust this better, but that looks good. Okay, so now we have to go through all that, so that's probably coming later. We don't have to name the machine yet either. So step 2 is install Ubuntu server as a virtual machine. Note, I will be blazing through the install of Ubuntu here since we already installed Ubuntu server once into this physical server. Keep in mind the following. We are not using LUKS encryption here. There is no need since the image is going to be stored on an encrypted partition. We are not using RAID. This is a disk image that is being stored in the RAID array, so we are not doing that. We are configuring networking as the same before, but we will be using a different IP address. Note, setting a unique static IP address to each virtual machine is necessary. It's like having 5 businesses in the same building and expecting the postman to deliver laptops to the right address. That's never a problem that plagued me in New York City. If something else is using that IP address, you cannot use it again. You don't want your packets ending up in Berwick, Maine. Okay, so yeah, I think so he's not gonna. I guess I just presume that we do everything the same for before. So I think I can. Yeah, so I think I can make the same selection. So we're gonna do this. Then we're gonna go down to done, and then now we're going to. So it got an IP through DHCP, but we're gonna set this to manual. All right. There we go. So now configure static IP address. When you reach the network configuration screen, select the network interface that corresponds to your network interface, which is this one. We only have one. Choose the option configure network manually. Enter the following details. So subnet would be, I don't have, there we go. Subnet is that. .0/24. Looks good. Then the address would be .3. Looks good. The gateway .1. All right, and then the name servers .1. Okay, and then hit save. All right, make sure you enter all the details correctly to provide the virtual machine has the correct static IP configuration. Did that. So now we can save it. So, all right, so now proxy address, don't need that. The mirror address, that's going to be fine, so we'll continue with that. So now we've got the tricky part. All right, so make sure you enter all the details correctly. To provide has the correct static IP. There we go. And then this is what he likes to do. He likes to put the screenshots first and then talk about them after. So let's just open all the screenshots, see if we can get everything just from the screenshots alone. All right, so we're gonna partition the virtual drive. When you reach the file system setup location, select use an entire disk this time. It's gonna be different. Then choose the disk you want to install Ubuntu on. So we want to install it in this 100 gig disk that we created. So yeah, that looks good. Important at this stage, edit the partition sizes, as Ubuntu's installer usually allocates 2 gigabytes for boot, which is ridiculous, and even worse, it only uses half the available space for your LVM and root. The Ubuntu Auto Partitioner is also horrible. So yeah, so that'll be on the next page, I think. So let's accept this and then go to the next one. And let's make sure that we're following it correctly. So selecting done here, so all I have to do is hit enter. But let's go through and look at the screenshots. So yeah, so there we go, selected. Nothing else selected, so that one's good. Okay, now we got to go to the hit enter here. And now we're at the next one. So yeah, so now we need to go modify we need to shrink down the boot partition. So let's find the boot partition. There, so here's one. It says VDA. It says that it's mounted as a boot, and sure enough, there we go. Two gigs, way too big. So we're going to change this to 512 meg. All right, and let's see if it matches a screenshot. Yep, ex2, everything else is the same. So then we'll hit save on that. Perfect. So there we go. Delete the old LVM and root partition. Okay, so this one's kind of contentious here. Do you really want to delete the LVM logical volume Ubuntu LV? Yeah, I would, because the guide tells me to do that. But oh yeah, so down here, yep. So well, actually, LV. What is LV? Oh, right here. Yeah, so we can see Ubuntu-LV. Let's delete that. And now we can see it matches what's in the guide. So do you want to delete? Yep, that matches exactly. So we're going to delete that. All right, so the next one, it says, so we deleted that. Now create a new LVM taking up the entire disk. Okay, so the next screenshot will show that. Oh, you know what? We have to delete the VG as well. So we have to delete this one as well. There we go, down to delete. I can see that there. There, and now see how it matches the guide. So we're good to go. All right. So next, I think we have to delete something else. So do you really want to delete the partition of the local disk? Partition 3. Local disk partition 3. Oh, so I see that right here. Yeah, we want to delete that. So let's see if the warning message matches. Yeah, the warning, yep, it matches exactly. So delete that. All right, so now we're going to add a new partition that takes up the whole disk. So we're gonna go down to the free space here. Okay, and we'll have to so we'll add the partition, leave that blank so that it takes up the whole disk. And then so match. So yeah, we got to leave it unformatted. That's important. All right, and that should be good. Hit create. Let's look at the next screenshot before hitting create. Okay, looks good. All right, so create a logical volume for the root file system using all available space. That's exactly what we did. Do not encrypt the volume. It's unnecessary since the host drive is already encrypted. and it is not my intention for you to have these VMs running on other people's servers. So next, we're going to create LVM volume. I'm not sure how we do that. Oh, down here, create volume group. Perfect. So now we're going to call this mail server. We're just going to follow the guide. I know ChatGPT had some suggestions for us, but I want to follow the guide. So now we check partition 3. We make sure not to encrypt it and hit create. All right, and then now we need to so adding logical volume to mail server. So now I think we need to do that. So how do we do that? Let's see. So here's mail server. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Create logical volume. There we go. Adding logical volume to mail server. It's the same thing it says there. So we're going to call this mail server root. We're just going to follow the guide exactly. With 2 R's like that. We're going to leave the size blank so that it uses it all. And set the format and the mount. All right, on to the next step. So let's open all these screenshots. Go down to the text. I am kind of wearing out. I do need a break at some point, but we definitely need to get to step 3, at least. So the next would be the profile configuration. So we can go. We can go down to done. Yes, continue. There we go. Now we're at the profile configuration. So I'll enter in. Yeah, so he enters in his name Lewis. I'll enter my name. And then server's name is mail server. Remember, this isn't the same as the Ubuntu server. This is a virtual machine that's going to be handling our mail. Username, okay. Oops. All right, and now we can go to done. Okay, definitely skip Ubuntu for now. Don't want to use the paid service. I think would definitely be installing OpenSSH server as well. Yeah, so skip for now on that. Yeah, definitely install the OpenSSH server. And that'll take us to the next thing in the guide. The guide's not going to walk through everything. Okay, no applicable third-party drivers. Perfect. There. Now we're here. So this is the last part. It just has everything unchecked. So I don't know. Because these are snaps. Snaps are really bad. So 2.4 would be finalize installation and do not install Docker. Oh, right. So this is, he'll probably talk about this in the text. So set up your username and password. Choose to install OpenSSH server. Note, do not choose to install packages through the prompts after this. They install via snap. Docker installed via snap is cancer. Using the snap version of Docker will provide you with many aggravating headaches. Don't do it. Ignore me now. Suffer later. After configuring the partition sizes, proceed with the installation process as usual, following the prompts to set up any additional software you want to install. Okay, well, maybe I do want to install some of these. Oh, no, no. These are snaps. I don't want to install any of these. Um, when prompted, once installation is complete, your system will automatically apply your network and partitioning uh, settings. When prompted, remove the installation media ISO from the virtual machine settings and restart the virtual machine. So this should get us to a good stopping point. These are all snap, so he's saying definitely do not install Docker here from Snap, but I think he's saying you can install other stuff if you want it. I don't want it. We can install it later if we need it. I guess Prometheus would be interesting, but as I said, we can install it later as we need it. This is just my mail server, so I don't even need it on there. All right, so easy as pie. So when prompted, remove the installation ISO from the virtual machine settings and restart the virtual machine. And then that will be a good stopping point. A good stopping point. Yeah, so step three post installation tasks. It might be good too. Let's just get through all the way there, because there's not that many extra steps here, and it'll help to complete the tasks and not leave them sit. So let's just completely complete this whole thing without there being like a gap in our workflow. All right, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Oops, I gotta pause the video to be back in a few minutes. All right, we're almost at the 2 hour mark, or we're almost at the 2.5 hour mark. It crashed last time I made it that far, but hopefully things will be good now. If it just abruptly ends, I'll just finish them on my own off camera and come back to that logical place to continue next. All right, I'm back. Hopefully I won't crash at the 2.5 minute mark. So there we go. So here's, now we can reboot. It finished there, so let's hit reboot now. Now it'll give us a handy dandy indicator to remove the installation media. So we can right click. Oh, no, we can't. Okay, I guess I don't know how to. How do I? How do I remove the installation media? Well, let's go to the guide. Maybe the guide will have some guidance. Okay, so I have to scroll down. Yeah, so this is, did all this. Yeah. Install it as a virtual machine. Looks good. Everything's good. So yeah, now it's going to say when prompted, remove the installation media ISO from the virtual machine settings. How do I do that? From the virtual machine settings. What? How do I do that? There's no. Oh, I think this is how. Yeah, leave full screen. There we go. So now I'm in the virtual machine settings. So let's go to Let's go to the settings. Uh, how do we get to the virtual machines? Oh, here it is. It's okay. It's behind that. So now